Good evening. Welcome to the class of 2020 James I. O'Neill High School commencement ceremony. Please stand for the singing of our national anthem and our alma mater by the James I. O'Neill Select Chorus, directed by Mr. Christopher Reynolds. The anthem will be followed up by welcoming remarks done by the senior class president, Asher Spain. Thank you, and enjoy the ceremony.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the
So we talked all night about the rest of our lives, where we're gonna be when we turn 25. I keep thinking times will never change. Keep on thinking things will always be the same. When we leave this year, we won't be coming back. No more hanging out, cause we're on a different track. And if you got something that you need to say, you better say it right now, cause you don't have another day. Cause we're moving on and we can't slow down. These memories are playing like a film without sound. And I keep thinking of the night in June. I didn't know much of love, but it came too soon. And it was me and you, and then we got real blue. Stay at home talking on the telephone, and we would get so excited and we'd get so scared, laughing at ourselves thinking life's not fair. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, come whatever, we will still be friends forever. So if we get the big jobs and we make the big money, when we look back now, will the jokes still be funny? Will we still remember everything we learned in school? Still be trying to break every single rule? Will little brainy Bobby be the stockbroker man? Can he ever find a job that won't interfere with the tan? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. Keep on thinking tomorrow like we think about now? Can we survive it out there? Can we make it somehow? I guess I thought that this would never end, and suddenly it's like women and men. Will the past be a shadow that will follow us round? Will these memories fade when I leave this town? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. I keep on thinking it's our time to fly. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, come whatever, we will still be friends forever. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, come whatever, we will still be friends forever. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, come whatever, we will still be friends forever.
Teachers, administrators, staff, parents, families, students, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2020. My name is Asher Spain, and I am the senior class president for the class of 2020. To the class of 2020, though we have anticipated this moment since we began high school back in the fall of 2016, we have mixed emotions on this big day. We can look back and say confidently that none of us are the same students that we were just 4 years ago. We've all grown immensely. High school was difficult, and each one of us were challenged. Whether that challenge dealt with academics, families, a move, our social lives, physical health, mental health, etc., that didn't stop us. Look at where we are right now. We are at our graduation ceremony. Congratulations, we made it. Our senior year may not have been ideal due to the construction and the ongoing world pandemic, but let me share a quote with you from author Vivian Green that fits this moment. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Class of 2020, we have been through a lot, but if we have learned one thing through these last 4 years, it's that we can overcome anything. The COVID-19 pandemic is a storm on par with the Great Depression and 9/11. It's a horrible situation that we can look at in two ways. As a situation that we should just muddle through, or a situation that gives us the opportunity of a lifetime to dance in the rain and grow. Let's seize this opportunity of a lifetime and grow into the kind, courageous, upstanding, innovative people who we were meant to become. Class of 2020, our future is bright, and congratulations. Cherish this moment. Our hard work has paid off. Thank you. And now I would like to welcome our principal, Ms. Brand, to the stage.
Good evening, Board of Education, faculty, and staff of the Highland Falls Fort Montgomery Central School District, and parents, families, friends, and of course, students of the class of 2020. Although we never expected to be here in quite this way tonight, we hope that this evening's celebration captures the essence of your tremendous accomplishments and the importance of your journey through 13 years of education. Before we recognize each individual graduate, I wanted to take a moment to express some gratitude, share some thoughts, and maybe even offer a little wisdom. First, for gratitude. So many people assisted in making this evening a reality. In particular, I would like to thank the members of the Board of Education, representatives from West Point and Garrison, central office administration, and the building level administrators. They each played an intricate part in shaping the education of the people in this class. Of course, that list is nowhere near exhaustive. All of our wonderful teachers, coaches, advisors, counselors, social workers, psychologists, custodians, maintenance workers, nurses, liaisons, and support staff are the ones who have changed the lives of students, helped to keep them safe, to guide them, and to educate them so that they can become responsible adults that make an impact on the world. Finally, I would like to thank the many people who assisted in putting this video together. The individuals are too numerous to mention, but I assure you there are many who put in hours and hours of work to help create a successful virtual graduation. I cannot fully express my gratitude for their efforts and their financial and moral support. I encourage everyone to take a moment to consider and acknowledge these efforts. Next, I would like to thank the parents and students who have not only worked hard to create the success symbolized by this ceremony, but who have supported our unique community. Thank you, parents, families, and friends, for entrusting us with your children and fostering the growth of this special group of young adults. Students, please turn to your family members now and acknowledge their role in supporting you throughout your education. Now for a little bit of advice. Recently, I read the Celeste Ng novel, Little Fires Everywhere, about an artist and her daughter who roamed the country for 15 years, never settling down until they get to a small, idyllic Cleveland suburb. As spontaneous people who are constantly on the move, they clearly do not fit in this little conservative town that was carefully planned and maintained for generations. They are like a giant red streak of paint running across a black and white photograph of tree-lined streets with matching houses and perfect lawns. For many in this town, their presence is a disruption. For others, it's a breath of fresh air. One of the enduring themes in this novel is the idea of fresh starts. The main character, Mia, connects with a rebellious teenager that she's taken under her wing, and before Mia has to move on, she shares the following bit of advice with her protege. Sometimes you need to scorch everything to the ground and start over. After the burning, the soil is richer, and new things can grow. People are like that too. They start over. They find a way. As a former English teacher and a book lover, I'm a big believer in the idea that books often find their way to us at just the moments we need them. Whether it's a children's book that you are reading to a toddler, a book you are reading for a class, or something you decide to dive into while sitting in the beach. If we look carefully, we will find that little bit of guidance that benefits us as we move along on our individual journeys. During the past 3 months of working from home, I've had moments when I felt as if I lost my why. Why am I doing this work? What is my purpose? When you lose your why, everything feels like you're going through the motions. At first, I didn't realize that I had even lost my way. Then, I attended a webinar, and the presenter pointed this out as a common side effect of crisis situations like this one. And that sparked a realization in me. The down feelings, the stress, the despondency over spending another day in front of the computer suddenly made sense. I had lost my why because I didn't know why this was happening, how it would all end, or how I could help our community to get to a better place. On the same day as the webinar, I read the Celeste Ng quote, and something began to blossom. It's been a few paragraphs, so I will share the quote again. Sometimes you need to scorch everything to the ground and start over. After the burning, the soil is richer and new things can grow. People are like that too. They start over. They find a way. Although no one asked for these circumstances, the world and life as we knew it seemed to have been scorched to the ground. No one would willingly destroy all of these things we want and like the most. It had to be forced upon us. So now we must ask new questions. Why has this happened? What meaning can we get from this? Where do we go from here? Everything has been burned to the ground so that the soil can be richer, so that new things can grow. It's scary not knowing what those things will or should be, but maybe, just maybe, these new and unexpected times have been forced upon us so that we might stop and look around. We are being compelled to examine where we are because the path ahead has unpassable obstacles. We must refigure out what we want to go, where we want to go, how we want to get there, because the before COVID ways may not be the best way anymore. How frightening, but how exciting. Like the early colonists, we are being asked to imagine a new future and bring it to life. This will be hard work, no doubt, and it will bring its share of pain. But remember, people start over. They find a way. So forge ahead, class of 2020. Till the new soil, plant seeds, and nurture them. You will reap a new harvest and usher in many great things in the future. We can't wait to see what you create and the accomplishments you achieve. But we won't worry about your inner strength and resilience. You have both in abundance. Use the knowledge, skills, strength, and wisdom you've acquired and be brave in acquiring more as the circumstances dictate. Not even a global pandemic will stop you if you do. Thank you. I hope you enjoy your evening. And now for a few words from our superintendent, Dr. Frank Sheboy.
Good evening, parents, faculty and staff, the Board of Education, and most importantly, the class of 2020. I like to say that wisdom is knowledge forged in the crucible of experience. I don't know if that's an original quote or if it is just something that resides in the recesses of my memory, so you'll forgive me for not having an attribution to somebody who is more famous than I am. For the past 5 years, I've offered some insight and hopefully some wisdom to the graduating class. Most of it was based either on something I had read or on something that I've experienced and learned over the past 53 odd years on this planet. This year, especially over the past 3 months, we've navigated through new waters and have tried in earnest to maintain some semblance of normalcy in a situation that none of us has ever experienced. In some areas, I believe that we have succeeded mightily. In others, well, we did our best, and we did that best for the right reasons. Each of our graduates has had an opportunity to learn during their academic career. We learn in the classrooms and in the hallways and the cafeterias. We learn on the playing fields and in the choral and band practice rooms. We learn in our friend groups and with our families and in every place where people gather. And we choose how much we want to learn. I've taken every opportunity over these past 3 months to expand my knowledge in so many areas. At times, the information flow has been so rapid that I could not comprehend all that was coming at me, and I just wanted to shut down. But I couldn't. I had to stand up, shake off the confusion, and work. For you. The global pandemic has altered many things about our world, certainly for the short term. It has made things more difficult and it caused pain to individuals and communities and even to our economy. But it has not changed our ability to learn. It has not changed our ability to work together. It has not changed our ability to find some good in an emotionally upsetting situation. The greatest generation was a generation of incredible men and women who were forged by the experience of surviving the immensity of the Great Depression. They were forged by the experience of defeating totalitarianism during World War II all over the globe. They came home personally changed and driven. Many were filled with wisdom far beyond their years, and they shaped the world for the next 60 years. So I have no wisdom to offer you because I, too, am being forged by the same fire as you. We share this crucible of adversity in our own roles. But you have the future. You are the future. You will take whatever lessons you have learned over your personal and your collective journey, and you will shape something. It may be in your own family. It may be in your community. It may be the world, but you will shape something. What that is and how you choose to shape it is a function of what you chose and what you choose to learn. 2020 Raiders, I wish you well as you move on to your next destination. It is my sincere hope that the successes you enjoy over the next 7 or 8 decades will cause your generation to be known as the wisdom generation. Thank you. And now, for the presentation of the class gift, I'd like to introduce Courtney Foster.
Hello all, my name is Courtney Foster and I am Vice President of the Class of 2020. It is my pleasure to be able to announce our class gift this year. As I'm sure you all know, our senior year has truly been defined by the Capital Project. For those of you who don't know, the Capital Project is a plan enacted by the community in order to help improve O'Neill in all aspects. From the gorgeous new football field to the updated locker rooms, the construction created a buzz amongst all of us. Although we didn't get to use the facilities as much as I'm sure we all would have liked, future O'Neill students will be more than thankful for the amenities. However, there is one aspect of the O'Neill athletics community that did not gain as much from the Capital Project. The softball fields have already been generously gifted new fencing and a watering system. However, we would like to further that. As our class gift, we will be giving the softball team a check in order to help the team build dugouts. We really hope that Miss Gonzalez and the rest of the girls are as excited about this prospect as we are. Thank you to all of the students and teachers who made this class gift possible. And I'd like to say how incredibly proud I am to be part of the class of 2020. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce you to the salutatorian of the class of 2020, Isaac Walker.
Hello everyone. My name is Isaac Walker, and I'd like to begin by thanking the administration, faculty, and the Board of Education for everything they have done for the class of 2020. It's been far from an easy journey, not just this year with the pandemic, but in the years before. And without your support and guidance, we would not be where we are today. But I'd also like to thank the members of our class, my fellow classmates, for the patience you have shown, as this year we have faced problems that took away many of the things that we expected to be able to enjoy during our senior year. It's been really hard, but we have persevered. And through this experience, we will grow. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that high school itself is exactly that, a time of growth. If we were to meet ourselves now on our freshman boat ride, I think we would be stunned by the changes we see, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. We've learned so much throughout high school, and each of us have learned different things. Many people questioned my decision to grow a mullet this year. But Isaac, you look like an idiot with that bush on the back of your head, they'd say. Well, Mom, believe it or not, the mullet reminds me of what I think is the most important lesson that high school has taught me. Now, you parents know from the 80s what I'm talking about when I say the perfect mullet is business in the front, party in the back. But what does that really mean? You can interpret it literally, but I interpret it as the balance you have to find between working so hard you don't have fun and having so much fun you don't work hard. I had a lot of trouble with this in high school, finding balance between work and fun. But 2 of my freshman year teachers helped me to learn this balance between work and fun. The first was Mr. Luke, who started each class with writing in our journal to hard rock music. Although his class was probably the hardest class I've ever taken in high school, this focus on some fun in the beginning of each class allowed me to work harder during the rest of the class. The other teacher was Mr. Tatro. Tatro's class was not an easy class by any means, and yet looking back, I never remember how hard his class was. Instead, I remember how fun his class was. From learning how to apply molar ratios by mixing up some thermite to showing how reactive sodium is by dropping it in water. Kaboom! He made hard work easier by making it fun at the same time. From these two teachers, I learned the impact that a healthy balance between some party and some business can have on not just the learning process, but in life. I also learned the importance of balance between working hard and having fun during my first 2 years of high school. My freshman year, I tried to do everything and worked so hard I did not have much fun. My sophomore year, I overcompensated and did not do enough work. My junior year, I found that sweet spot between the two, and it made a huge difference. If we can remember to keep balance between business and party, if we can work hard while still having fun in the work we are doing, we will be able to succeed in college and beyond. I hope we all remember to get our perfect mullet on as we move on to the next chapter of our lives, and let's go Mets. And now, to introduce our Grand Marshal, please welcome the Secretary of the Class of 2020, Mackenzie Clark.
Hello everyone, I am Mackenzie Clark, Secretary of the Senior Class, and I'm proud to present this year's Grand Marshal. Mr. Tompori has been a teacher at O'Neill for the past 21 years. He's actively involved in the school as an advisor for the Youth and Government Club and as the varsity golf coach. Mr. Tompori is well known for his sense of humor and seemingly endless knowledge about everything. Every student is excited and loves going to his class and enjoys having him as a teacher. No matter how we may feel entering his room, he always manages to put a smile on our face. We are honored to have him speak at our graduation. Please welcome the Grand Marshal of the Class of 2020, Mr. Jorma Tompori.
Good evening. To the James I. O'Neill school community, especially the senior class of 2020. It is with great honor and privilege that I am here to address the graduating class as the Grand Marshal of the 2020 graduation ceremonies. When Mr. Rao informed me that the seniors had made me their choice, that I would be their Grand Marshal, I was taken aback and not sure what this special and unique graduation would entail. It has been an extreme pleasure to share our classroom in economics and government with this year's seniors, looking at all the news events that have passed from the days, the weeks, and the months before. There's an old proverb, I'm not sure who said it, that states hindsight is 20/20. Looking back, this is an appropriate saying. I wasn't quite sure where my speech would lead us to, but that quote has stuck in my mind. 20 years ago, before many of you were born, I started in this district as the permanent substitute at the Fort Montgomery Elementary School. It was one of the most enjoyable and rewarding experiences I've ever had in education. I was lucky enough to be Mrs. Parry's replacement for kindergarten class during the last 6 weeks in May and early June of 2000. She had a poster in her room that I stared at every day. Many of you are probably familiar with it. It's from Robert Fulghum's book, All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten. The most important parts were, and not necessarily in this order, lunch, recess, and nap time. But we'll get back to that and give you more later. COVID-19 has changed our lives in many ways that we could not have imagined just a few short months ago. We can be bitter or angry about all we've lost, or we can reflect on other moments in history and realize that life, although it is cruel and harsh at times, continues on. We have had many struggles before as a society and come through better and stronger as one person, one community, and one nation. Experience has been and always will be our greatest teacher. We learn lessons from life and we become better people for it. I'm 56 years old, and I know that every day when I get up, I will learn something new. Each day is unique, and each day allows us to grow. Pearl Harbor, and no Jared, I was not alive for that event, was a date that will live in infamy. The assassinations of JFK, his brother Robert, and Martin Luther King Jr. rocked the 1960s. Watergate, Vietnam, the Cold War, the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion, the fall of the Berlin Wall, September 11th, the financial crisis of 2008, the elections of Barack Obama and Donald Trump were just several events that have reshaped our country since the 1970s. Many of these events brought challenges and changes for our country. Coronavirus is the latest obstacle that has come in our path. We were able to overcome tough times before and persevere because we are America Strong, and that's what we do, and that's what we will do. Getting back, a little reference to Mr. Coyne, Fulgham's book, and I paraphrase from it. Here are the 20 things that I learned in Mrs. Parry's kindergarten class. Share, play fair, don't hit anyone, put things back where you found them, clean up your mess, don't take stuff that doesn't belong to you, say sorry when you hurt someone or hurt their feelings, wash your hands, especially now, flush, cookies and milk are good, draw and paint, sing and dance, work, laugh, and play. Watch out for traffic, especially when you're texting. Roots go down and plants grow up, just like that little seed we put into the styrofoam the styrofoam cup in kindergarten. Goldfish, hamsters, mice, and even that little seed all die. Make the most of the time that we have while we're here. Lunch, recess, nap time, as I said before, my 3 favorites. And then I added one, and I've always told this the first day of school to my incoming seniors. Have fun and learn. I know there are no words to replace what we have missed in the last 3 months. Try to remember what we always talk about in class, that no matter how tough things are, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. I wish you all the best of luck in the future. I will miss you all, and I know that the challenges that you've faced in the last weeks will make you better and stronger as individuals and collectively as a community. Hopefully, you will look back at these things we've learned in kindergarten and laugh and smile. 20 years ago seems like a long time, but I remember my time at the Fort School as if it was only yesterday. Stay safe, move forward, and when you become millionaires and important members of society, please send me some money. I am extremely grateful and proud to have been selected as your Grand Marshal. Congratulations to the James I. O'Neill High School senior class of 2020. Thank you. I now have the privilege to introduce our next speaker, the valedictorian of the James I. O'Neill High School senior class of 2020, Mr. Charles Reeves. Charlie?
Good evening, family, teachers, administrators, and especially the James I. O'Neill class of 2020. Today marks the culmination of years of work, grit, and determination. In other words, we finally get to sit back and enjoy a job well done. Compared to most other classes, I would say that the class of 2020 is a special one indeed. During our 4 years of high school, we had the privilege of welcoming Miss Brand to our school, lost a great friend, mentor, and role model in Mr. Page, seen the beginning of the Capitol Project, and are still in the midst of living through the coronavirus. Yet through all of these uncertain and occasionally tumultuous events, we persevered and made it to where we are today. Instead of thinking about what we may have lost, however, I urge you to think about all that we have gained from our experience at James I. O'Neill. As Winston Churchill once said, "I'm an optimist. It does not seem too much use being anything else." Whether it was going through the daily grind for the sport you loved, pulling an all-nighter for Mr. Luke paper, learning about the wonders of maps in the Renaissance with Mr. Coyne, or just goofing around with your friends, we should not compare ourselves to other classes or envy their experience. Instead, we should take great pride that our journey was unique. In fact, I believe our experience is like no others, as we will be the class that navigated through a pandemic. Starting with this ceremony, we close one chapter of our lives and open another. Before we end this time, however, I would like to share what I consider to be the 3 most important lessons I have gained from high school. Number 1, be open to learning new things and take pride in doing so. My experience at O'Neill has taught me that there is always a new topic or subject to explore. I believe it is important that each of us recognizes that we simply do not know everything and never will. Yet we gain so much by listening to others and keeping our minds open to new ideas. Number 2, always strive to do what is right. At West Point, one traditional sentiment that has been passed down is the cadet prayer.
In this prayer, one of the lines is, "Make us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, and never to be content with a half-truth when the whole can be won." I believe this phrase is spot on, and we should do the right thing even when it seems like no one else has the moral courage to do so. And finally, number 3, never let anyone work harder than you. Growing up, one of the things that my dad always told me was that there will always be someone who is smarter, stronger, faster, etc. than you, but what you can control is to never let anyone work harder than you. I have adopted this philosophy, as hard work and discipline often seem to go further than brilliance or talent. I would tell all of you that if someone is going to beat you, make them earn it. It has been a great honor to attend O'Neill, and again, I'm extremely thankful for the experience. As we prepare to go our separate ways, I ask each of you to never forget the hardships, lessons, friends, and memories that were formed during our time at O'Neill. Internalize what you have learned and go forth and conquer. Try to see the positive side of things and work hard. I believe that we will all do great things. Thank you to everyone who has guided us through the jungle that is high school, and of course, congratulations to the James I. O'Neill class of 2020. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of graduates from the class of 2020.
Peter W. Angelopoulos, Kaylin E. August, Angeli N. Baez Cartagena, Brianna Baker, Archie L. Bates IV, Nicholas M. Bernicker, Darius Bobin, Joshua D. Borowitz, Emily K. Boylan, Kelly N. Boyle, Joseph Buchanan, Emily V. Campbell, Nadia R. Karkov, Christopher Carlo, Antonio V. Cepeda, Gaetano Q. Servone, Mackenzie Choette, Madison M. Clark, Mackenzie R. Clark, Megan E. Cleary, Peter Mateo Clement, Jada R. Cochran, Dante Cora, Jonathan C. Colasurdo, Michaela L. Cooper, McKenna Craig, Jada L. Dambra, Deshaun T. Dasher, William C. DeSpirito, Grace O. Doherty, Emma P. Elliott, Adriana R. Espinoza, Gabriel Estella, Nicholas E. Evans, Dominic Farina, Victor J. Fernandez, Victor N. Ferreira, Courtney B. Foster, Brisna P. Fragoso, Aman M. Fruitwala, Graham N. Gist, Hugh Allen T. Goffinet, Morgan N. Goki, Samantha Gonzalez Ortega, Joseph R. Green, Marie E. Hagemaster, Julia F. Hajar, Aaron J. Harris, Kara G. Hartley, Paula E. Harvey, Henry A. Heckert, Benjamin T. Higbee, Jack P. Higgins, Alyssa M. Hill, Haley R. Hill, Megan A. Horan, Caitlin A. Johnson, Elizabeth Kastner, Ian T. Kelly, Daniel B. Kimball III, Jasmine Y. Laird, Kaylee G. Laporte, Ayrton Y. Leary, Sean P. Lewis, Thomas W. Lindbergh, Ava R. Long, Carmen Y. Lopez, Marissa Lupinetti, Alexander D. Mosick, Theodorus P. Magonis, Zachary J. Marr, Dylan M. Malinowski, Remy J. Mancuso, Valerie A. Mancuso, Lonnie D. Matthews, Samuel H. Maxwell, Hayden R. Mayer, Matthew McHugh, Solana R. McKee, John Luke V. Miller, Nicholas S. Miller, Sebastian Montalvo, Alexander R. Owens, Juan P. Pantoja, Basheva Perez, Paul F. Podias, Jeffrey M. Prosperi Jr., Anna C. Reed. Charles J. Reeves. Jared A. Ritchie. Samuel R. Ridgway. Anthony A. Rosil. Danielle E. Rubino. Flavia A. Rafasto. Connor Salva. Ruth M. Sandoval Urrutia. Julie A. Santucci. Jacob D. Schools. Montserrat Serrano. Nazir Adam Sharifi. Jennifer Sigsig. Jonathan Smith. Asher W. Spain. Shane P. Stoll. Anna Evka Thomas. Christopher Tiaguaro. Nicholas S. Vesta. Caitlin Vella. Ellie L. Waite. Isaac H. Walker. Tyler Walco. Alexa C. Walsh. Jared C. West. Courtney M. Wilkinson. Bryce C. Woodbury. Jacob V. Woodruff. James Rexford Young.
Graduates, please stand and take hold of your tassels. By the power vested in me by the State University of New York and the Board of Education of the Highland Falls, Fort Montgomery Central School District, I certify that the class of 2020 has met the requirements needed to become graduates of James I. O'Neill High School. You may now move your tassels. Congratulations. Thank you, class of 2020.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.